Have you ever wondered why English pronunciation is so difficult? Have you actually mastered the pronunciation and rhythm and accent in several other languages, yet you can't quite seem to master it for English, and you're wondering why this might be the case? Well, if so, my friends, then today's video is for you because I'm going to be sharing with you the top 3 reasons why English pronunciation is so very difficult. So the first reason is simply non-phonetic spellings. In many languages of the world, when you see a certain combination of letters, you can with very high certainty pronounce the word and get it correct, even if you have no idea what that word means. So let's say, for example, that you're learning Polish, which is actually my mother tongue. So Polish is a beautifully phonetic language. So if I've presented you with the letters K, O, T, the letter K is going to make the sound K. The letter O is going to make the sound O. And the letter T is going to make the sound T. So when you put those together, you get the word kot, which means cat. And the opposite is true as well. If I say kot, and even if you have pretty basic knowledge of Polish phonetics, chances are you're going to write K-O-T because there's not 1,000 different combinations of spellings as there are in English. So that is the first big reason that a lot of my clients go crazy when they're trying to master English pronunciation, because you can't just rely on the fact that a certain letter makes a certain sound and that's it. Or even that you can count on the fact that there are just a few exceptions, because there aren't just a few exceptions. By definition, there are many, many options. And so you really are better off to not rely on a rule that has, literally so many exceptions that it would be impossible to keep track. You're much better off treating each word individually and tackling it head on. So let's look at a few examples of how non-phonetic English is. And there are tons of these. They're literally everywhere, but let's just dive into a few here. So the words C-O-T spell cot. Cot, as in a little temporary bed that you'd sleep on, right? So in that case, the sound ah is being represented simply by the letter O. However, let's look at another word that rhymes with cot, and that word is bought. In this case, the ah sound is being represented by O-U-G-H. Very, very different than just the letter O on its own. So as an English learner, actually, this is a particularly good example. A ton of my clients, words that end in O-U-G-H-T, they come to me and this is one of their I have no idea words, but they could say the word caught, no problem, if it was spelled C-O-T, because their brain is seeing all this mess of letters and they just don't know what to do. But the trick, what you're supposed to do is just listen, tune in, forget the spelling, it's not going to help you, and listen and pay attention to the actual phonemes, to the actual sounds that are being produced. So let's look at another example. So in this case, let's look at the combination of letters E-A-R. So just E-A-R on its own is a word in English, right? And that word is ear. Ear. So that's one type of R-colored vowel, and that's how it would be pronounced in that case. Now, if only English was glorious and we could just remember that E-A-R makes the sound ear in all cases, wouldn't our lives be so much easier? Yes, they would, right? So what about the letters E-A-R in the word H-E-A-R-T? But that word would be pronounced as heart, heart. As in, you have a good heart, or he's a heart surgeon. So in that case, ear are two totally, absolutely different vowels. Let's look at another example. So what if I was to take the T of heart and change it to a D? Is that the word hard? Nope, that's spelled H-A-R-D. Does it make the same sound as we saw in ear? So is it the word heard? Nope, that's not it either. This word, of course, is heard. So the vowel in this word is it's not R, it's not ear. So you're getting the idea here that a certain combination of letters in English tells us nothing about the pronunciation. Let's drive the point home with a few more examples here. So let's think about the letter A. In many languages of the world, the letter A makes the sound ah, okay? But let's look at a few words in English. So first, let's look at the word apply. Apply. So the first letter is obviously the letter A. However, we are not hearing or making an A sound. We're not saying apply. We're making a schwa sound. So a really short sound, and that's it. Apply. Apply. But is that a rule? Is that always going to be the case? I know you know the answer, right? So let's look at another word, the word apparently. Apparently. Oh my gosh, we have a match, right? The first letter A is making a schwa again, apparently. However, what about that other letter A in that word? So in this case, the letter A is combining with that R to make a complex R-colored vowel, and it's the sound air. Air. So one word, two letters that are the same, two totally different sounds. How about the word gate? Gate, as in G-A-T-E. In this case, we're not hearing a schwa, we're not hearing an we're not hearing an air. What are we hearing? An A sound, right? Again, totally different vowel. What about in spa? S-P-A. This is another totally different vowel, right? We're saying ah, that open, low back vowel. So we're not saying spa, we're not saying spa, we're saying spa. So I could go on and on and on with examples all day, you guys. I don't want to bore you, so I'm going to stop there for that point. But I really just want you to internalize this fact that English is not a phonetic language. And even though that might seem like an easy fact to remember, I can tell you that a lot of the clients that I work with, they truly do have trouble internalizing this and accepting it as true. And we have similar conversations to this one over and over again as other words come up and they really want to put in the vowels that would make sense, okay? So I know it's an easy point, but really spend some time with it because this one is really important. All right, you guys, so the second reason that English pronunciation is so hard is that you can't actually memorize a certain word and be done with it. You always have to be aware of the context. So what I mean by that is, let's say that you've accepted point number one. So you've accepted that you just have to pretty much memorize each word individually and you're okay with that. So recently you memorized the pronunciation of W-I-N-D. They're going to go flying kites because there's a lot of wind today. So your brain remembers that it's a W going into a lax I going into an ND, wind, okay? So wonderful, right? Except then you see those same letters in a different context and suddenly wind isn't acting as a noun, it's acting as a verb. So for example, you need to wind up that toy. Wait, what? That doesn't sound right. Wind up that toy? Nope, we wouldn't say that. We would say wind up that toy. Crazy, right? So same exact letters forming a whole independent word, but we cannot rely on the fact that our pronunciation is going to be preserved if the word is acting in a different capacity. So this is truly mind-boggling to a lot of my clients, and it drives them crazy because we're really putting so much pressure on your memory, right? You have to memorize so much more compared to phonetic languages that you can really just rely on the spelling to help you figure out the pronunciation. There are a ton of words like this in English. There are really a lot. For example, content and content, live versus live, read versus read, right? I could go on and on forever. That's not the point here, is to give you an exhaustive list, but it's just to give you some more food for thought as to why English pronunciation is so difficult. And the third reason that English pronunciation is so difficult has to do with reductions. Reductions change everything. So let's say you've truly, wholeheartedly accepted reasons 1 and 2, okay? So you know English isn't phonetic, you're cool with it, and you're able to memorize a word for a given context, right? So let's say you're saying the sentence, I will see you later. However, you want to sound natural and relaxed, so you're going to contract I and will, and you're going to make it one word. And you looked this up online and the dictionary told you that it's pronounced as I'll. aisle. So the same word as the bride's gonna walk down the aisle. So I'll see you later. I'll see you later. What do you think? Obviously, I've kind of told you what to think, but the point is that is not how most native speakers would say that sentence. Most native speakers would reduce the I will, not to I'll, but even more, so to all. I'll see you later. I'll see you later, because the I will is so unimportant in this kind of a sentence. And again, there are many examples of this, right? So he will. It's possible to say he'll call you, but you'll really commonly hear he'll call you. He'll call you. So really super reduced. Same with we will. It's really common to hear we'll call you. Well, not we'll call you does sound a little bit hyper articulate, a little bit unnatural. All right, you guys, so that is it for today's video about why English pronunciation is so hard. And my purpose in making this video was to make you guys feel a little bit less crazy. Like there's nothing wrong with you if you're struggling to master American English pronunciation. A lot of my clients, especially those that speak multiple languages, they really don't get why they've perfected other languages from a spoken perspective, yet they can't quite get a grip on English to that final degree. So I hope that this video can allow you to kind of change up your game plan if you need to, because you know some of these little quirks of English. As always, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you know of anyone who might like this video, then please share it with them. I really do appreciate it. Thanks so much, and I'll see you later. Bye.